Alright, the other day I talked about having things to do. One of the things was dyeing some multi-scam MTP kit, right? So I did that. I dyed some multicam MTP pouches because multi-scam isn't worth a crap in a highly vegetated environment. It sticks out because it's too light. So you got to darken it up. You got to darken it up a bit. So in the last 2 days, I dyed those pouches. I dyed the pouches twice. I dyed them twice because the first time it still wasn't dark enough. You got to be careful when you dye because you'll get them. You get your pouches too dark, and you will not achieve the desired effect that you want if they're too dark. It should not be too dark, and they should not be too light. Okay. So I brought out a couple things here. I brought out load-bearing equipment belt kit. And I brought out medium Alice patrol pack, and I got pouches on the patrol pack. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pouches that I had dyed. They were multi-scam MTP, right? MTP is what the British call it. It's still multi-scam. Anyway, when you dye it properly, it does well in a highly vegetated spring, summer green environment. Unlike brain again. So, unlike how it works in its stock form, right? If you get it, this is the dumbest thing ever. I mean, they come up with, some of the times they come up with some stuff and it looks really good on paper and everything, and then it gets they oh yeah, let's do that, and then they make millions of pieces of stuff in this crappy camouflage, and then it doesn't work, and then they're scrambling. So, you know, the civilian world, former soldiers found out that you can dye it and make it work, and then the military comes out with OCP Scorpion, right? Which I think is the little bit darker version of multi-scam. And I've got, in the other room there, I've got a SAS smock that is in a tropical type multi-scam color. It's not quite multi-scam tropical that they have now, but it came out before the multi-scam tropical. People kept telling them that stuff is crap, you need to do something about it, and then they finally came out with multi-scam tropical, right? And this is very close to multi-scam tropical. But anyway, it goes well. It goes well in a highly vegetated environment, green, right? And it blends well with your tiger stripes and your olive drabs, right? So this is the reason why we don't have a whole lot of choice, guys. Aftermarket companies, a lot of aftermarket companies, I don't know, I mean, if I were 30 years younger, I'd probably go into business making what works, right? Get me a high-dollar sewing machine and go for it. There's, you know, a lot of this stuff, they just throw this shit on the market and, oh, sorry guys, they throw this stuff out on the market and they say, oh yeah, well this is what we're using now. Doesn't matter if you die, but I mean, we got enough people, right? we could survive through attrition. But anyway, on a personal level, you guys want to stay alive, right? So that's the reason why we gotta adapt things. So this war belt here, showed you the other day. I had this multi-scam pouch made by Eagle. I'm ashamed of Eagle with this pouch and the direction that they have gone with their kit. They have gone to this fight light crap, which works probably when you're not paying for it, right? If you're in the military and you're not paying for it, and it'll work a little while, and when it falls apart, here's another one, right? It doesn't work like that in the civilian Minuteman world. You get what you get, and you buy the heavy duty stuff because you may be crawling around in the dirt for years, right? So this here is 1000 denier Cordura. This Maxpedition pouch is civilian made, market. All of the military stuff used to be 1000 denier. Oh, it's so heavy. Oh, it's so heavy. I know it's a little heavier, guys, but come on. The thing is that you gotta look at it. You gotta look at this in a way. You gotta look at this from a logical perspective, right? You gotta look at it when they talk about fight light. Why are they making stuff thinner and lighter and so forth? Because they're equipping the modern soldier with body armor and everything and all this heavy crap, right? So I can kind of understand that they want to go that way, but at the same time, your stuff is just wearing out. It's wearing out quick. I see these IFAKs or blowout pouches, whatever you want to call it, these medic pouches, these Eagle pouches, I've seen them in tatters. Tatters. That is a shame. I've seen these things in tatters. This is 500 denier. That is the minimum. That is the minimum, really, that you want to purchase is 500 denier. You don't want to purchase anything that's made out of anything thinner or cheaper than that. Right? 500 denier is mil spec. But 1000 denier, that's the heavy duty boy, because it's so much more abrasion resistant. And I did a little bit of research on materials. When I was looking at equipment to have made by a military contractor and resell and stuff like that, I looked at materials, and I looked at why one thing is better than another and so forth, right? I looked at all that. 1000 denier has a tear strength of over 600 pounds for one layer. 1000 denier is the most abrasion resistant material. Over 600 pounds tear strength. To tear it, you have to have over 600 pounds of force to tear it. And 500 denier is 290 something, I think. It's just under 300 pounds of tear force, right? So it's less than half of the strength of the 1000 denier. Plus, when you look at the material under a microscope, it's very finely woven together versus this more coarse 1000 denier. And that will make a more waterproof product, but you're losing the wear resistance of the 1000 denier. That's why you go back and you look in the past, some of the earlier Eagle products. 1000 denier, still out there. Still out there. A lot of that stuff, it does look a little battle worn, but it's still good. There's nothing wrong with it. it ain't all tore up, stuff like that. So we were talking first about colors, right? So let's have a look at this color. So as you can see, this color is much more green now. Much more green. This is olive drab or ranger green or some crap like that. This is olive drab, this old canteen pouch. This is M81 back here. This butt pack is M81. But when you get out in the green, you get into the green, you got light shades and you got dark shades, right? See, that's another thing, guys. You should not care that your greens, I got a dark green and a lighter green and a jungle looking green here, and I got a dark green and I got a little bit of a green and brown in this M81 and stuff. You should not care about that. This is not a fashion show. You don't want to be seen. So when I look out this window and I look at those trees and the bushes and all of the undergrowth, I see lights and darks and shadows and all that stuff. If I were to go over there and camouflage, if I had a tiger stripe blouse and trousers on, and I had this on, and I had, you know, this boonie on, or bush hat, or whatever you like to call it. I know the modern term is a boonie or something. Boonie hat. If I go over there and I remain still, you ain't gonna see me. It may take a while. You may see me. You may have to get out your binos and have a closer look. Oh, there's that mofro right there. I see him. Right? But the thing is, I'm standing in plain sight. If I veg up a little bit, you may not see me. You may not. I don't really have to veg up a lot in order to blend in to where nobody will ever see me. That's the thing is you also got to be careful with that, because you could have target indicators, right, on your uniform and on your equipment. You put a lot of vegetation and it will blow with the wind, right? And that movement will attract attention, right? So especially you crawling, or if you're crawling through some vegetation, you got to watch for those overhead indicators, because those will give you away. That overhead indication down here, you shake the base of a small sapling or something while you brush against it as you're crawling along like a worm, and that stuff up there will start saying, "Woo! Here I am!" Right? Yeah. Running out of time again. Got a minute and a half. So I'll show you this patrol pack, this medium Alice. 5 pockets with multi-scam that I dyed on here. Right? So I got these pouches up here. I got these old Bren gun style pouches on the side, multi-scam. All this stuff's dyed with apple. Right? I'm going to stop that real quick before it makes a racket. So, all this stuff dyed with apple. Just throw this on here real quick. Any movement is a target indicator. If you're moving, you're a target. If your equipment is moving, it's going to draw attention of the eye to you. Okay? So, take a quick, one more quick walk around here. And I'm going to have to shut her off, because we're at our 15-minute mark. I'll catch you in another one.